واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له اله الاولين والاخرين وديان يوم الدين وجامع الناس اليوم لا ريب فيه يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون الا من اتى الله بقلب سليم. واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله المصطفى الامين ارسله الله رحمه للعالمين فشرح به الصدور وانار به العقول وفتح به اعينا عميا واذانا صما وقلوبا غلفا. صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. Brothers, today we're talking about how we can make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala great. Or Allah is great. Allah is great. How we show we have a greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our hearts. Because people claim for a lot of things, but when it comes to the actions, it's not right. We say a lot of things with the tongue, we pronounce a lot of things, but when you bring it to the actions, we have a more talk than actions. So because of this, we need to know how we can make Allah or show Allah is great. How we can show or prove it that we have a greatness of Allah عندنا في قلوبنا عظمة الله تبارك وتعالى. كيف نعظم الله سبحانه وتعالى وهو العظيم. It's very important. We have many ayat in the Quran, and we have many ahadith showing our weakness. Before we talk about the showing Allah's greatness, showing our weakness. And the problem, we now realize we have a weakness. When the person, he have an illness and he don't know he have an illness, so he's not going to, to check it out, to find out, because he don't know. He has some signs, but he don't know there's an illness, there's a disease, and maybe going to kill him, and he don't know. And sometimes the doctor telling him it's too late. Where have you been all this time? It's too late. The same way some people, for them it's too late, because when they die, they're going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's nothing will fix the problems they have, the weakness they have, and will be under Allah's mercy if Allah forgive them or punish them. So we as a Muslim, we need to know if we have the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our heart. How we can know? Give an example for the people, between the people. The person who not listening to, let's say, the leaders, he's not applying and he's not listening to them, whatever they say, he go opposite. That he's showing any greatness, any respect for them. Kids, when they not listen to the parents, there's any respect for the parents. If the kids, they're not obeying their parents, there's any sign of respect or greatness for the parents? No. When you can see the signs of greatness or respect of the parents, when you obey them, then this is the sign you have a greatness of your parents. The same, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. We have people, they say, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a red line. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a red line. Quran is a red line. And when you see the actions, his actions is against Allah. His actions against the Quran. His actions against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But with the tongue, he said, it's a red line. No, this is Quran. But his actions against the Quran. So we need to know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran.
What is وَلِلَّهِ مَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى?
يعني المثل الأعلى ولله المثل الأعلى, meaning the great examples is being given about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The greatest example is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I'm translating, the right translation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَمَا قَدَرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ وَالْأَرْضُ جَمِيعًا قَبْضَتُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَالسَّمَاوَاتُ مَطْوِيَّاتٌ بِيَمِينِهِ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى عَمَّا يُشْرِكُونَ. If you look at the creations, sharp, and think about it with details, you see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You not see with your vision, but when you see the creations, when you see all these creations, you know the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you think about it. If you think about it and if you ponder, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, He said, إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ لَآيَاتٍ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ الَّذِينَ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا سُبْحَانَكَ فَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض لآيات لأولي الألباب. These creations, you see the skies and earth, whatever creations you know and you don't know between the skies and earth, is a ayat, is a signs to know the greatness, to see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is a science, is a knowledge, is a burhan for the righteous people, for the people who have a clear heart. They have a pure heart to see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think I give this example before. We know, the earth, 70% or 71% is water. Do you know this ocean, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He give permission just blow one time, we have 29% of the earth is dry. If Allah give permission to the ocean, just blow one time, He's going to cover the 29%. Easily. Right? Do you know, if you remember, we give this example before, long time ago. In the Pacific Ocean, there's a spots 11,000 meter deep. 11,000 meter deep. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He just give a permission with a short time, so there's nothing will be showing except water. Because if you have a bucket of water and bucket of dirt and mix it, what's going to happen? Make it 3 buckets of water and 1 bucket of dirt. What's going to water? It's going to be dirty water, right? You're not going to see liquid. So if you put 3 times water and 1 dirt. So what about 70%? 71% is water and 29% is dry. So that's the only thing only thing you have to believe and you have to know is the permission of Allah. This is the Amrullah. إذا أراد لشيء أن يقول له كن فيكون. There's nothing else. Nothing else except the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you give the permission, in a short time, you're not going to see any dry. Everything will be underwater. Go back to the ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they don't know the greatness of Allah. وَمَا قَدَرُ اللَّهِ حَقَّ قَدْرِ. They not give the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His status and His power. They don't know the qadr of Allah, the greatness of Allah. They're not giving it. They don't know. وَالْأَرْضُ جَمِيعًا قَبْضَتُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. The earth will be in hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Allah control. وَالسَّمَاوَاتُ مَطْوِيَاتٌ بِيَمِينِهِ. The skies will be rolled up next to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. When you think about, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see the greatness of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He creates everything, male and female. Imagine only male. There's no kids. There's no babies. How the life will be continued? Do we see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah opened the sky with the rain, no stop, what's going to happen if the rain continues for 1 month? Less than that, but we can say 1 month. What's going to happen? Do we see the greatness of Allah? How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down portions for the people? And sometimes Allah increase as a warning for people, reminding of the people. Increase the rain, increase the floods, increase the tornadoes, increase the snow. Warning for the people to see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is, this is very important for us to think about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the creations, skies and earth is a signs for the righteous people, for the people who have a pure heart. Who they are? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, those who they think about the creation, they think about the skies and earth, and then after they thinking how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates these creations, they say, Subhanallah, pureness for you, O Allah. You not create anything without wisdom. You create everything with the wisdom. And you create everything with the wisdom. There is nothing wrong in Allah's creations. This is what they say. They think about the creations while they're standing, they're walking or laying down, or they think about the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Why you not look at your body, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you? I was long time ago, wallahi, I was looking for this, for the meaning of this ayah. This is long time ago. I was looking from the tafasir, the explanation of the Quran. Took me a long time. Probably I read all the tafasir in Arabic language. I was looking to understand وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Why you not look at yourself how Allah created you? I was going to, there's a tafsir, there's an explanation. But was hard for me to understand. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking to a lady in the desert, illiterate, to look to herself how Allah created her. She's not a doctor. I was thinking, the ayah should be, specific for the doctors because they study the body of human. Why the call is for every single one? For the illiterate people, for the doctors, for the engineers, for the old, for everyone. So, tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Understanding is not from you, not from us. It's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if Allah make you understand. So, I see the meaning in the tafasir. But still I'm asking, why, how person, he don't know anything about the medicine. How he gonna look to himself? How Allah created him. But in the end, you can tell the lady, a literate lady in the village somewhere, she never ever see a school. When she's someone blind, she knows what Allah created for her. When she miss an arm, she knows what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give her before. When she's someone with a broken hand or no arms or no legs, she knows what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give to her. Even she illiterate. So meaning every single one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking you and telling you, why you not look at yourself how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you? Look to your face. Look to your face. Your eyes, your nose, your ears, your mouth. How many holes? How many holes? You have 7? 7 in the same spot? And then the doctors, correct me if I'm wrong. The source of wax, saliva, tear, booger, whatever you want to call it, is all same source. This from same place coming. Why the taste of the saliva is different, taste of the wax is different, taste of the tears is different? Why? Did we see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do you know the vision? 80%, close to 80% is water and fat? Nothing else? Do you know fat? What is enemy of fat? The heat, right? Do you know the most strong part, against the sun is the vision. Otherwise, will be melt when you're outside, when people, not all people in the United States, we have people still, they have no electric, they have nothing. And then they have, up to 50 degrees in the summertime. 50 Celsius. Right? So how they, is from fat. The vision is from fat. And he get hurt. His skin, his head, his hand, his mouth, his face, his head, all his body. And then except his vision. Did anyone know that? The amount of saltness, if we call saltness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it in the tears, protecting the fat of the vision to not melt. And then imagine if you have the same, the wax, the same taste of the saliva, every day you're gonna see some insects in your ears. The taste of the wax, there's no insects like it. This is the greatness of Allah. Did we see the greatness of Allah? And then when we sleep, the ears is open. It was nothing in there to protect and especially at night. And we're not talking about here only, we're talking about everywhere in the world. And insects, especially at night, they're looking for the holes, from this hole to other hole, coming out from here, coming in and out. You know, and it was normal, you know, every day people have a problem of insects in the ear. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He puts the taste of the wax in the ear. There's no insects. And if something by mistake happens, Allah creates the ear not straight to the brain, circle, right? So you'll be able to get it out without hurt the brain. Did we see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Did we see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The same sores coming, the tear and saliva and wax and boogers is coming in the same. Why each one have a different taste? It's the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, if we talk about this stuff, there's a lot of stuff, you know, to talk about. There's many stuff to talk about the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But sometimes maybe we need a reminding to say, yes, what I'm doing. Do I when you go to the Quran and to find out what Allah telling you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sent the Quran down to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Quran is for every single one said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. For everyone. When you see the ayah, recite the ayah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, so listen to it. It's talking to you. Ya ayyuhan nas, the ayah is talking to you. You're from the nas, you're from the mu'mineen, inshallah. And you see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you read the Quran, when you recite the Quran. You come into the prophets, you come into the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see the greatness of His blessing on you. You have a temporary time in this life. And look what Allah created for us. From the fruits and vegetables, from the meat, from the other stuff. For a temporary, you know, when you travel, when somebody travel, what did he take with him temporary? What did he take with him? Probably, let's say a couple of sandwiches, not more. He's not going to take 10 sandwiches. He's not going to take a couple gallons of water with him. Everything, a little bit. He takes something when he needs, right? Believe me, we live the same way. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam قال حديث ابن عمر رضي الله عنه عيش في الدنيا كأنك غريب أو عابر سبيل. Live in this life as a stranger or the one who passing by. When somebody coming, let's say somebody coming from somewhere, from any other countries, he's coming for like a week or two. He's coming for 2 weeks. How he gonna live in 2 weeks? Did he going to buy a house, to buy cars, to open a business for 2 weeks? He's here for 2 weeks. How he gonna spend these 2 weeks? Temporary. He doing whatever he needs and prepare to leave. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, live in this dunya like this person. Or Abir Sabil, or someone coming from Syracuse, going to Buffalo. he got, he in need of something, he came to Rochester. He's not staying for something he wanna stop for food, whatever restaurant, whatever salah, whatever he's stopping for a restroom, whatever. So what he gonna do in his short time? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, live in this dunya as a stranger or the one who passing by. And then our life is same thing. If we live as a stranger or the one who passing by, so meaning we don't need too much stuff, right? And look what Allah created for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sakhara samawat wal ard. Allah, He made the skies and earth and all this creation benefit for the human, even temporary. Did we see the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do we ask ourselves? And then when we come to talk about when we come to talk about the oneness of Allah, Tawheedullah Azza wa Jal. When we talk about the Tawheed, and then some people they said, oh, he's the strict. Because to you, because you don't know who's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't know any greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you think I'm strict. That's why. Or making names. Yes, because you don't know who's Allah, who's your Lord. You lost your Allah. You lost your Lord. You lost your Creator. That's why. Then what are we gonna expect from someone he lost his Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He's Creator. What are we gonna expect? So we have an issue between the Muslims. When someone has something, he swear. Some people swear by Kaaba. Some people by parents, children, and other stuff. Right? This is right? Is that right?
Yes.
We have a question. We should answer. Every single one answer the question. What's the meaning also when you swear by your father or mother? What's the meaning of that? We want everyone to answer. You don't have to tell me. No, answer the question to yourself. What's the meaning when someone say, so he swear by Kaaba? Is the meaning is not to Kaaba is great to him? Nobody say yes or no?
Of course it is. Yes.
If someone swear by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, doesn't mean Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is great to him? If someone swear by his parents or children, doesn't mean his children or parents is great to him? Yes. And this greatness, right of Allah, is not allowed to give it to somebody else or something else. No Kaaba, no parents, no children, no prophets, no malaika, no nothing. It's a right of Allah. Right of Allah. That's why we're coming to some hadith. One time, Umar radiallahu anhu, hadith Ibn Umar, his son, narrated a hadith. Umar, he was swear by his father. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he heard that. He said, no. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قَدْ نَهَاكُمُ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ أَن تَحْلِفُوا بِآبَائِكُمْ. Allah, He prohibited for you to swear by your parents. من كان حالفا فليحلف بالله أو ليصمت. Whoever wanna swear, swear by Allah or don't swear by anything. If you're looking for to make your father great, so this greatness is a right of Allah, not allowed to give it somebody else. Fasting is a right of Allah. He's not allowed to fast for something else. Salah is a right of Allah. You cannot pray for somebody else. The same thing. Same thing. Swearing is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This greatness, not allowed to give it to something else or somebody else. If you want to swear by Rabb al-Kaaba, the Rabb of the Kaaba, that's okay. Wa Rabb Muhammad, it's okay. Aisha radiallahu anha, she used to swear, Aisha, al-Mu'mineen radiallahu anha, she used to swear, والذي زين الرجال بالنساء والذي زين الرجال باللحى. Aisha radiallahu anha, she used to swear, I swear by the one make the man beautiful with the beard. So meaning, beard is the beauty of the man. The Aisha, this is the way Aisha radiallahu anha, she used to swear. She used to say, والذي زين الرجال باللحى. I swear by the one who made the man beautiful with the beard. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, another hadith, he said, من حلف بالأمانة فليس منا. Whoever swear by al-amana, he's not from us. Another hadith, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, من حلف بغير الله فقد أشرك. Whoever swear by anything other than Allah, he make a partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because, like I said, swearing by something is a greatness. You're making this thing great. And this greatness is a right of Allah. لأن العبادات حق الله تبارك وتعالى لا يجوز أن تصرف لغير الله كائنا من كان. The worship is the right of Allah. It's not allowed to give it to anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it's the right of Allah. And the greatness of Allah and His worship. When you worship Allah, the way, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you do it, and you're looking to do it, this is you showing greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah tells you something, don't do it, and you're not doing it, so you're showing the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Love Allah is not the tongue. Love Allah is the heart and the actions. You prove it with the actions. Same as La ilaha illallah. You say La ilaha illallah, you believe it in your heart, and then you bring it to the tongue, and then you prove it with the actions. There is no one, لا معبود بحق إلا الله. There is no one worthy of worship and truth except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is one of the issues. And we have another hadith. This is showing how important to not swear by anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This hadith is showing that swearing is the ibadah. Is a ibadah, is a worship. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, hadith Abu Hurairah, he said, من استحلف بالله فليحلف ومن حلف له فليرضى ومن لم يرضى فليس من الله. If someone being asked to swear by Allah, swear by Allah. If someone hear the swear, accept it. Whoever not accepted, he's free from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is coming to like issues, like a problem. You know, you took my money. Wallahi, I done it. When you hear he said Wallahi, Leave it off. Leave it to Allah. Leave it to Allah. Don't say I don't accept it. Because he used Allah. He put Allah between you and him. He said, Wallahi, I didn't take it. Wallahi, I didn't say it. Leave it to Allah. You have to accept it. Isa alayhi salam. Jesus, Isa alayhi salam. One time he was watching someone stealing. He's watching someone stealing. He said, you stealing? He said, لا والذي نفسي بيده ما أسرق. قال آمنت بالله وكذبت عيني. He said, I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my eyes lie. Then see it wrong. When he used Allah, when he said, Wallahi, I'm not stealing, then he said, my eyes is lying. I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it. He accepted. This is showing, this is a ibadah, this is a worship. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, if someone been asked to swear by Allah, swear. من استحلف بالله فليحلف. If someone says swear by Allah because the worship. And if someone hears the swear, you have to accept it. You're not gonna reject it. Leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your right will come back. If it was money, it will come back. If it was honor, Allah will protect your honor. If it was a right, Allah will give you a right. No doubt. Leave it to Allah. Accept Allah because He put Allah between you and Him. Leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't try to, go right or left. Be straight, accept it. As Isa alayhi salam, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Jesus, he said, are you stealing? The guy, he said, no, wallahi, I'm not stealing. He said, oh, my life is lying. I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you see Allah, put Allah in between, that's it. He accepted. Even you watching, he's seen it. He's seen him. So this is, I think I've been talking for more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're going to give some time to the questions, and then inshallah, no question about adhan. Whoever want to call adhan, when the time for adhan is call adhan.
40 minutes.
Huh?
Almost 40.
Okay, so you can
Turn off?
turn off.
Here's the question.
Yeah, it's okay. And of course, it's going to be too long. We don't want to make it too long.
Turn off.
Yes, sir, brother.
So,